This is a walkthrough about how to code patient visits. When in a new documentation for a patient, or when editing a prior documentation, you can click the Code Visit button, which brings up this page. And as you can see up top here, there is a calculator, which helps you determine how to code. And on the bottom here is where you can make your coding selection. One thing to note is that there are info buttons over here which help explain how to make your selections. And as you can see, the patient type info button explains the difference between established and new. The history info button is a little more in-depth than that. The same goes for the exam info button. Lastly, the medical decision-making button is much vaguer because the parameters are not as concrete as the other three sections. Another thing to note is that the code selection and the calculator work in conjunction with one another. So if you select a code without using the calculator, you will be shown on the calculator with red lettering how your selection should be broken down. This substantiated label will show up next to a code level whenever there is existing charting for the patient which backs up selecting that level. Alternatively, the calculator will be filled based on the charting that you do for the patient. So comprehensive shows up in green here because the charting for the patient shows exam complexity. Note that any free text charting, such as dictation, does not factor into the calculator or the code selection. So if, for example, you have a high complexity patient with a comprehensive exam, but the specifics haven't been selected in the chart, the calculator might not highlight the correct section in green. Whether or not you use the calculator up top, once you've made your selection on the bottom, go ahead and press OK. And that's all there is to coding a visit in LSS.